let me. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started off. For the top 5 artists of 2000, or you just doing hip hop artists, right?
Right.
Top 5 hip hop artists of 2014 is, of course, Brian Birdman Williams, Sean Diddy Combs, Shorty Lowe, Chevy Woods, and Young Berg, a.k.a. Hitmaker. No. But that's it.
Man, serious.
Yeah, you're going to be, this list is going to be interesting, I think. All right, so I'm going to start number 5, and I'm going to give it to, it may surprise you, I'm going to give it to,
I didn't hear his album.
Huh?
I didn't hear his album, but I guess I went to the end. I'm not going to jump back in, but you can go ahead. I went to the end.
You know, actually, I didn't really listen to the album all the way through. But I'm going to say based off of the success that he had, like when he put his album out, it actually was the #1 hip-hop album for a while. He has a song that's been done pretty good on the charts. He had on the radio and done pretty good on iTunes. He's an independent artist, so he was like his first week sales was over 88,000, which is pretty great for an independent artist. So if he had a major push behind him, he'd be doing even better numbers. So you know, and he just did the Rock the Bells tour. Well, not tour, but the Rock the Bells shows at Hot 97 with LL Cool J and Run DMC. So you know, he's done pretty big things this year. So I'm gonna have to say he's my number 5. Is that how you want to do? You want me to just go through my list and then you go through yours?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My number 4. My number 4 is of course, the biggest boss, Ricky Rose. I'm gonna give it to Ross because he actually did something that I don't recall happening in hip hop, and I don't know how many years. It's been a while since I've seen somebody release two hip hop albums in 1 year. I guess maybe due to Meek Mill being locked up, you know, he had to step up for the MMG camp because Style he definitely wasn't bringing the numbers in, or neither was Maybach. So Rose had to step up and hold down the MMG fort. And you know, he put out 2 solid bodies of work, but with Mastermind and Hood Billionaire. I guess like if you a Ross fan, like Hood Billionaire would be, you know, closer than what we used to. Like Mastermind was more, you know, it was experimenting with different producers and different sounds than what we are normally accustomed to with Ross. So, you know, I gotta give him his credit for putting 2 albums out in 1 year, so he made the top 5. And let's see, number 3. I'm going to give it to one of the young dudes in the game. I'm going to give it to the homie YG 400. He put out the My Crazy Life. Like amongst the other hip-hop artists, is well-respected. It did pretty good numbers throughout the year. And actually throughout a lot of the year, before some of the later albums dropped, people was actually saying that was the best hip-hop album of the year. He recently was upset because he got snubbed from a Grammy nomination. But, you know, I checked the album out. Definitely a solid album. You know, he was on a couple big records. He got the song with Drake. He got the My Hitter with Rich Homie and Young Jeezy. You know, and he rocking with who's possibly the producer of the year, DJ Mustard. So he definitely put out a solid project. So I think I earned him a spot in the top 5. And number 2, yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to Nicki Minaj. That she just put her album out, The Pink Print. They compared it to The Blueprint. I think that's a little ludicrous, but I think with Double XL Magazine, they actually compared that to The Blueprint. I think that's a stretch. By far, but you know, I listened to it. Definitely a great body of work. Even when she didn't put the album out yet, she kept her name in the, her name was still buzzing. She had some solid songs like Pills and Potion, and she put out the only record with Drake and Lil Wayne. And the album was it was a real good album. She was going through some things in her life, and she turned it into some good music. And besides the normal pop music that we've been accustomed to with her, it's like a hip hop album. A couple features from Meek on there, Drake and Lil Wayne on there a couple of times. So it's a pretty good album. Actually, one of the best hip hop albums of the whole year. And just based on who she is. I haven't checked the numbers yet, but I'm pretty sure she's going to put the numbers up. So I'm going to have to say number 2 is Nicki Minaj. And I'm going to go ahead and say the number 1 hip-hop artist of the year. He dropped his album at the end of the year, so he just came through and stole it. And that's going to have to go to J. Cole. J. Cole put out possibly the best album of the year, or hip-hop album. It's definitely up for debate. Most people are saying it's the best album of the year without question. And people are actually saying this is a classic album. And, the lyrics was up to par. Subject matter. It was a great album. Definitely, outside of Nicki Minaj, it's definitely the best album of the entire year as far as hip-hop is concerned. But some people thought 2014 was a bad year for hip-hop. So you kind of came, like those two, right at the last month of the year, they kind of came through and saved the day.
All right.
So I might have to say they had the best albums, Nicki and J. Cole. So that's going to be my top 5 now. And one thing I wanted to say, I thought about putting Iggy Azalea in my top 5. I personally don't like it. I think the music is trash. The bars are garbage. Like, I'm not a fan at all. But, I get credit where credit is due. But, they're going to give her a Grammy probably, so she'll need my awards. And I actually recently found out that she said that she had a line where she said something like she's a runaway slave master, so I don't support her at all. All her songs, I fought on her bars. So that's wanted to get that out there and get that on the podcast.
All right. Your list, nobody's on that's on my list is on your list and vice versa. That's interesting. But I think we did it with 2 different categories, and I'm glad that I didn't set any parameters. Because you looked at more like a body of work. That's why I don't have Lecrae on there. I did not listen to his album, but I respect the pick. YG, I don't really like the way YG raps. I don't think he has a lot of bars. I don't really look at him as a rapper, really more of a hustler who just got a record deal. And Nicki Minaj, I didn't hear Pink Print, but I did not like Only. Like her talking about Wayne and Dre, that was kind of corny to me. So she didn't really grab me with that single. Maybe, when she get into her more hip-hop stuff, maybe that'll grab me, but I didn't listen to it yet. So, those are the 3 picks I had a comment on that I wrote down, a comment. But I'm going to get into my 5. Now, my 5, I judge more on what somebody had, like who made the most out of what they had. So, with that said, numbers, both of mine I put like a cutoff dude, like the dude who just missed the cut. So, who just missed the cut from our artist was Kevin Gates. He started heating up at the end of the year with I Don't Get Tired. Then he had the We Are Strong joint with B.o.B. And then he just dropped Lusa Brazil 2, like maybe a week or so ago. Starting to heat up, but it's too late for 2014 for him. So, my 5th dude, I got an R&B singer on here, August Alsina. He had the No Love joint. He had to Make It Home at the beginning of the year with Young Jeezy. He had Hold You Down, which is a Cali record, but he's on there. And then he was on I Don't Get Tired. So, and he also, bounced back from almost dying. So August did a lot with what he had before. What?
I don't think he was on the way to die. Put that man on the
He did almost die. Did that brother not almost check out? He almost checked out. Y'all better stop leaning. PSA from D.Y. Stop. Get off the lean, man. Think about DJ Screw. Anyways, number 4. I got to go with my dude, Lil Baby. Had to put somebody from Chicago on here. It was only right. He dropped a Free Crack 2. And just to remind y'all, Free Crack 2 was his second mixtape, and it featured Juicy J, Wiz Khalifa, Anthony Hamilton, Jadakiss, and T.I. So, I mean, those are heavy hitters to get on your second mixtape. And then he had to join with Kevin Gates, which is doing pretty well on the internet. So I had to give it to an independent dude from Chicago to get those type of features on his second mixtape. Number 3, I got Drizzy Drake, even though he's, arguably the hottest in the game. But Drizzy, he kind of fell back from album mode. He just started dropping more features and more singles. He had the 0 to 100. He had Trophies. He had a feature on Who Do You Love with your boy YG. He had Tuesday. He had Six God. And he survived the beef with Tiger Tiger. He survived the beef with Tiger Tiger. I got to get... I'm just playing. But, yeah, Drizzy, Drizzy, not even in the album mode, just cruising, dropped some heat. Number 2, I gave it to my boy Childish Gambino. Because of the internet, I love that album. He's kind of an independent artist, but kind of not. Grammy-nominated album. He headlined his own tour, the Because of the Internet tour. And 3005 is a record that's doing very well. So he's doing a lot without really being in that traditional circle. You don't see Childish Gambino jumping on a lot of records with the other people on my list. They all work together so far. And number 1, had to give it to my boy Breezy. Fresh out the joint, Breezy. He had the Loyal joint, which is one of the biggest records of the year. He had Hold You Down, and Loyal did 199 million views in 9 months. So I gave it to Chris Breezy in the number 1 spot. What are your comments?
My feedback is 2014, to sum it up, was a sad year in hip-hop when you got 2 R&B singers in your top 5. That's pathetic.
I know, man. I look at who's doing the most right now, and R&B singers, they putting in work, man. I can't give it to some of these dudes.
Like, your top 10 had Genuine and Tank, and you had TDT in your top 10.